Welcome back to Mr. Orr's Flipped Classroom for Grammar. Today we're going to be looking at Grammar Lab number 6. Topics are verb tenses and subject-verb agreement. The essential question today is, what are the 3 most used verb tenses, and how do we select subjects and verbs which agree? Remember, you'll be following along with the notes. Today your job is just to get the notes filled in, and we'll get through the examples and number 1 on the practice together section. Tomorrow, or our next day of class, we'll be focusing on doing the practice together. And the third day of the lesson, we will be doing the sentence lab. Let's get started. Verb tenses and agreement. Definitions. Verb tense is the use of time for a verb. In simple terms, past, present, or future. As we label it, we're going to use VT for verb tense when we edit. Subject-verb agreement is how the subject and the verb or helping verb agree or align with each other. That's why you write I am and not I are or I is. And this is going to be labeled agreement SV, AGR-SV, subject-verb for editing. So if someone wants to let you know you made an error with subject-verb agreement, they would use these letters. If you made an error in verb tense, they would type in VT. Agreement and number. This term means usually subjects and nouns are plurals ending in S, for example, and usually verbs are singular when they end in S. Therefore, it's unusual to have both a noun and a verb which ends in S. It's possible, but it depends on the words and the spelling. Agreement and number means plural subjects have plural verbs. Singular subjects have singular verbs. Agreement in person has to do with the use of terms first, second, and third person. First person agreement is I, it uses am, was, and have, where if you use second person you, uses are, were, and have. Third person he, she, it, or another noun uses is, was, or has. So that agreement in person has to do with, does it match up either agreement in number with singular plural, or in person, first, second, third, are using the correct form of the verb to go with that subject. Let's talk about some definitions of some verb tenses. The simple tense. The simple tense, again, all these tenses have past, present, and future versions of them. Simple tense is used to indicate it happens at one time. Exception of future, because in the future tense in English, we always add the helping verb will. But other than that, the simple tenses do not use any kind of helping verbs. The progressive tense. It's not just a type of car insurance anymore. Progressive tense indicates that something is happening for a continuous period of time. This is a form of be as a helping verb with the present participle. This is the be plus ing, as I refer to it. So am walking means that I am walking for a continuous period of time. If I just say I walk, it's at some point in time I walk. It doesn't say when or for how long. If I say I am walking, it's happening right now. It's continuing. So examples. Walked, walk or walks is present tense, and will walk is simple future. For all other verb tenses, we say past, present, and future first in the phrase. For simple, we'll say simple past, simple present, simple future. Past progressive, if we use the verb walk again, is was or were walking. Notice past progressive is the helping verb plus the ing. Present progressive, again, is helping verb plus ing. So it's is, am, or are walking. And future progressive is will be walking. The nice thing about future tense is it really doesn't change to have to agree with anything. If you are talking in the future tense, it's hard to make agreement errors. One more verb tense we'll talk about today, and that is perfect tense. The perfect tense is used to indicate a time that's earlier than the simple. The perfect tense is formed with have going with the past participle. So in this case, the perfect tense would be had walked. So it's the form of have. Had is the past tense of have. So it's had walked. Walked, ed, is also the past participle. It's not an en form. It's not an unusual form. It's just ed plus the helping verb has, have, or had. Present perfect, again, is that ed form with has or have, depending on the subject for agreement. So we have to talk agreement while we're talking helping verbs and verb tenses. We have to know which one we use. So has or have walked is the present perfect, Future perfect will always be will, have, walked. So it's that helping verb will with the helping verb have followed by walked. Here's how we use this. We want to identify the verb as past, present, or future. It's really important we check that, especially as a writer. If we're going to move around between past, present, and future, it's confusing for our reader. We want to stay with one thing. So if you're telling a story in the past, just keep it in the past. All your verbs should be some version of the past. But even in the past, some things happened earlier than others. Some things were happening at a time and then stopped or changed. And that's why we use tenses like the simple tense, the progressive tense, and the perfect tense in order to vary when things happened in the past, when things happen in the present, or when things will happen in the future. The next thing we have to do is identify whether the verb should be simple, progressive, or perfect. Simple, no helping verbs other than will for future or simple future. So that's great, no problem there. Progressive, it's a form of be plus ing. That could also be ben. So when you have the ben in front of the progressive or the participle, that's still a progressive tense. So a form of be plus ing. Or the perfect tense, which is going to be the has, have, or had, or will have in front of the ed, the en form of that particular verb. Perfect tense, we have to watch out for helping verbs, which are actually linking verbs. If it's I have a pizza, it's not perfect tense. If I have eaten a pizza, then it's perfect tense. We'll have to see examples to have this make more sense. As we're doing these verb tenses, we also have to check for agreement. We check for agreement in number. The subject and verb are both singular or they're both plural. It's really important we check that. And sometimes we just have ways of expressing things that are confusing, like how everyone is singular. It's every one person. It's everyone is, not everyone are. Everyone is singular, is singular, everyone is agrees in number. Person, the correct verb is used with the subject. This is where we look at not saying I is, I are, it's I am. So we want to make sure that the correct form of it, especially important when we're using pronouns. When we're using common nouns, we're using proper nouns, it's actually a lot easier to get this straight. So again, the first person is I and we. Second person is you. Third person is he, she, it, or a noun. And we have the correct form of that be or have with that helping verb. And again, tense, don't forget, that's the verb has the same or a related time with other nearby verbs. Again, if we're going to stay in the past, we're probably going to keep all of our verbs in the past unless we have a reason to actually change. And we might use words like yesterday or tomorrow or today as a way to indicate when we've changed time, or later as opposed to earlier. Those words that are really useful to have for your reader also help you know when you should use the correct tense for your verbs. First example, wolves roam northern Minnesota. So our steps are, again, find a verb. The verb is going to be roam. Okay, so roam. If I'm looking at that, first thing to do is decide, is that past, present, or future? Is that roamed? Nope, that's past tense. Will roam? Nope, not future. So this is going to be simple. This is going to be present tense. The question of whether it's simple, progressive, or perfect has to do with helping verbs. There's no helping verbs for roam. So I'm automatically looking at being simple, present. If it was roaming, I might wonder about it being progressive. If it was have or had roamed in front of that, I might wonder if it's perfect, but I don't have to. No helping verbs, goes present tense, simple present tense. Does it agree? Wolves roam. Well, would it make more sense to say wolves roam or wolves roams? Wolves roam. Wolves is plural, therefore roam is plural. If we add the s to the verb, it makes the verb seem singular. S to a noun, it makes the noun seem plural. So they agree. Second example. Some packs are migrating further south. So looking at those, find the verbs. We see the ing, migrating definitely. We also see a helping verb are in front of them. Hopefully you're starting to see helping verbs more frequently. So of those, if I'm trying to decide past, present, or future, migrating, the participles will not tell me past, present, or future. Migrating does not tell me that. The helping verb are is going to tell me. So is are present, past, or future? Well, will or will be would be the future. No. Was or were is past, so that means are is going to be present. Migrating is just a present participle, but that's important to notice. Be plus ing. So are is a helping verb. So we know that it's not simple tense. We've already ruled that out. Okay, it's be plus ing. That's progressive. Again, ing is the progressive tense when you have a helping verb form of be in front of it. So present participle plus ing is present, because we said it's are is present, present progressive. Honey verb agreement, pax. Pax is plural, are is plural. It's not pax is or pack are. Pax are. Those two agree. They're both plural, so we're good to go on agreement. One more example. Farmers have been outraged by wolves who have killed the farmers' livestock. Okay, I'd remind you, because you find one doesn't mean you're done. What are the verbs? Well, you're right. You've got outraged. You've got killed. We know have is a helping verb, and as I said before, B-E-E-N, ben, is also a verb. Excuse me. Have been outraged and have killed are your two phrases. Take them separately. So first we decide past, present, future. Again, outraged and killed doesn't give us an answer. It's whatever's first, have and have. Both of those have are going to be present. Will have is future, had is past, have is present. So we know it's present. Been outraged and killed, those are all past participles. It's the ed or en form of the verb coming after helping verb. So both of them are past participles. That's helpful to know, because next thing we want to figure out is what tense are we looking at? We know it's present. We know it's helping verb and past participle. Well, it's helping verb tells us it's not simple. There's no ing, so it's not progressive. Have or had plus ed or en, that's going to be progressive. Perfect. So we have present, perfect. For both of them, agreement. Farmers have, like the first word, the first helping verb gives you that agreement part. Farmers have. Is that okay? Should be farmers has, farmer have, or should be farmers have? If it's okay, then it agrees. Plural and plural. Have killed, who have killed? Wolves have killed. So that's how it agrees here as well. Wolves have. Again, plural and plural. For the practice together, we're just going to do the first one right now. We're going to highlight the verbs, label the verb as present, past, present part, or past part, or HV. And at the end of the sentence, we're going to label those verb tenses. So let's take a look at that on your assignment. So with this one, people enjoy a wide variety of music. We only have one verb in here, and the verb is enjoy. So there's no helping verbs because there's no verb. People is not a helping verb. Enjoy is a verb by itself. You can't variety someone. You can't music someone. You can't wide someone. So enjoy is your only verb. Since we already decided there's no helping verb to it, we know it's simple. And again, it's okay to write just the simple first and then come back and decide if it's present, past, or future. Well, if it was future, it'd be will enjoys or will enjoy. If it were past, it would be enjoyed. So because there's no helping verbs, it's simple. And because it's enjoy, it's present. So simple, present. That's what we need to have for number one. Highlight enjoy, label it present, and underline and identify at the end, simple, present. And that's going to end our work with grammar for today.